Phil, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Yeah, welcome to Creep-Lyfe TV, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It feels good to be here.
Yeah, man. So welcome to the show, and I definitely happy to have you here to talk to you about some things about business.
Okay.
And you're a businessman, as I know. First of all, what I want to start off on is tell me some of your businesses, because before we get into this and you start giving us advice, I want my audience to know who we're talking to.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. Let everybody know who I am, right? Okay. So I'm Phil Holloway. I've had a couple different businesses over the years. The first business that I started was some time ago when I was a little younger and a little less gray hair. It was a handyman service. It was a handyman and lawn care service. And basically it was a lot of hard labor. I started up just like probably a lot of other people started up with hardly no money. And I did a lot of the legwork myself, a lot of what they call beating the streets, and advertising and marketing myself. And then all of the labor I did myself too. Very labor intensive. I went from that business to a retail store front business, a tanning salon, which was actually kind of ironic because I know nothing about tanning at all.
A black man doing tanning.
Hence, right. Hence the complexion of my skin. Right. I had no idea what I was doing as far as tanning goes, but I jumped in with both feet to a retail business where we had a service of tanning salons and spray tans, and massage was our services, and we also sold products, of course, all of the tanning products that go along with tanning, which is eyewear and tanning lotions and you name it, anything that goes along with the tanning and spray tan, lotions and moisturizers and those types of retail products.
Wow.
That business I recently sold. I had that business for about 6 years, and that business I recently sold. And now I'm doing full-time real estate investing. I have a real estate investing company, and we do mostly residential remodels, where we find these distressed homes that are really abandoned and sometimes burnt down even, but really distressed, and we remodel them and put them back on the market for new homeowners.
Wow, that's great stuff.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Right?
Yeah,
Exciting
yeah.
stuff.
And something, and so basically with those things, that's a wide range of business. So I would imagine, and I'm going to go into my first question now, tell us some of the obstacles that that go into actually starting one of these businesses.
Oh man, it's a long laundry list of obstacles that I personally experienced in starting the businesses, and of course keeping those businesses afloat and trying to, at the end of the day, make a profit. That's why most of us are in business, right? Is for a profit. So one of the main obstacles I would have to say is perseverance.
Wow. Okay.
There's a lot of things that's going to happen that's going to cause you to say, maybe this is not for me. Maybe business ownership is not for me. There's going to be a wide range of things happening. It could be things. My personal experiences was maybe having problems with employees, staffing. Maybe having problems with customers. Having problems with even the initial startup capital for business. Some people, what I call quit before they even start. When they're trying to even get funding to start a business, they don't have their own funds. They have, it's hard to get funding to start a business. That's one of the main and probably the first obstacles that most people experience is starting up the business and having the funds to start a business. And some people will start realizing they don't have the money and the means because, I have to work my job. I can't quit my job and start the business. How do I do it? And so a lot of times they don't move forward in business at all because of that. That's usually the biggest obstacle. I think that most people face.
And something, you just touched on it, but do you think this is actually the reason why people stay with a job and not actually go for their dream business?
Definitely. I would say that's probably the primary reason why people do that. It's hard to see, and I can relate because obviously I didn't always just have businesses. I was a 9-to-5 myself, and it's hard to really see how you're going to be able to do that. It's hard to understand that when you have bills come in on a monthly basis, how am I going to pay those bills if it takes me time to get a profit from my company? If I have to work at my company and work at my 9-to-5 job to pay my bills, how do both those things come together where I'm able to support myself while I run my business if I'm not making no initial profits from my business to take care of myself? So without having the know-how, it's hard to move forward and make it seem like it's something that could be a reality.
Wow, so you actually came from the 9-to-5 thing, which, that's very impressive. Very, very impressive. And I want to move on a little bit and talk about, do friends and family usually support you in these business ventures? I know that sometimes it's like, they like, okay, well, you're starting something, you have a new idea, what is this, Do friends and family usually support on this?
Yes and no. Yes and no. You'll have some that will support you, some that will not support you. I think for the most part, most family members mean well, and they might give you a pat on the back and say, well, if it works out, I'll be happy for you. As far as the type of support that they give, it might not be, don't expect anyone to leave their jobs to go help you start your company, nothing like that. And I don't think that that should be expected of family and friends to go all in with support. So I think that there's different levels of support when it comes to family and friends. For the most part, you'll have the support as far as well, good for you, I'm glad you're doing that, and at least you're doing something, and maybe the verbal support.
Right.
But I think that might be as far as it might extend for most family and
friends.
I would
imagine so. They're not giving you no money or helping you do anything.
No. Don't go asking them to help you with some startup money. No, but they'll definitely say good luck to you. You know what I mean? That's the type of support you should expect.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So my next question is: do you notice that there's a stigma on young? Specific. I don't want to say. Is there a stigma on young black businessmen?
Of course. Well, everybody knows that if you're a young black man and you started a business, it had to have come from drug money.
Oh, yeah, that bothers me. That really bothers me,
Of course, it bothers me too. I'm sure it bothers every young black entrepreneur that's the consensus usually is, guess what? This person is a young black man, he's driving a nice car, he lives in a nice house. That's drug money. And it's not just black, I would say minorities. I have a lot of Latin American friends, and they have that same stigma as well. Why is it that because I am able to work hard and use my mind and my God-given abilities to do something, to pursue something, why does it have to be looked at as it was drug money or attained some illegal ways? Maybe it was stolen, or maybe it was they swindled somebody, or it was some scam that they did, to get that where they are. That's usually the stigma that I notice from that minorities, not just black business owners, but minorities have the challenge that they have to face when becoming successful in business.
Wow. That's really something, and it's a shame, but hopefully little by little we can make some changes to that, and people will see. It just takes time, and it actually takes people's minds changing, generations changing, and hopefully we can overcome that. That's a bad stereotype in this country.
It is a bad stereotype. It is, and stereotypes. That's what stereotypes are. At the end of the day, what they say. They probably said in grade school. I'm rubber and you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
Right,
If you could kind of remember that and play that out in your mind, I think a lot of times it's a whole lot better in moving forward, because sometimes those stereotypes can get under your skin and kind of derail you from your goals.
Right.
And so I think it's important for the person, the minority that's starting a business, to not let those stereotypes hinder whatever plans that they might have or goals that they might have.
Right, that's great. I appreciate that advice. Now, Phil, I'm just going to ask you one more question here. and I appreciate it. Can you give us some advice, or tell me this? What would be your advice to someone actually trying to start a business, and actually they work at a job and they want to start a business and they really don't have a whole lot of money? What would be your advice to them?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. My advice, from my own personal experience, I'd say there's two things that you really need in starting a business, and one is the know-how. You have to really have some education on that industry or that field that you're trying to pursue. Some knowledge and education, some know-how. And the second thing would be some capital. You're going to need some initial capital in starting, whether the capital be for advertising or for maybe help an employee or just maybe equipment, whatever the industry is. You sometimes, or most of the time, I'm going to say, need some capital.
Right.
Now, if you don't have the capital, which is what your question was, what do? Well, if you need those two things and you don't have one, which is the capital, you better have a whole lot of the other one to make up for it.
There you go.
A whole lot
there you go.
of the other one.
And then get somebody that actually does have the capital to...
Exactly, because, right, to kind of, partner with you or to invest in your ideas. And the only way you're going to get to convince someone to invest in your ideas is if you know a whole lot about that idea and have a really solid presentation to make the investor feel like, hey, this person knows what they're talking about, they've done their research, they've done their homework, and if I was going to invest in this industry, they're the person that I want to go to because they're the ones who know the most about it.
I guess it's the Dog and Pony Show then, huh?
Yeah, that's what they call it, the Dog and Pony Show. Exactly.
That's great. Phil, I appreciate it. My subscribers will appreciate it. And by the way, Phil, you will be a new addition to Creep-Lyfe TV, and I just want to give that little plug right there. And so I appreciate you being here.
Yes, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of Creep-Lyfe TV. For all of the viewers out there, please don't forget to subscribe to Creep-Lyfe TV. A lot of stuff coming your way. Interviews like this one and many more interviews and many more, much more content that'll be entertaining and informative. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.